iTone phrase loop model AT07. I was sent this for free by iTone for review, so you can consider this a sponsored review. I was not paid, but they sent me a pedal for free. I can't complain about that. Now, I've reviewed loopers before, so when iTone approached me with this one, it had to have something a little special about it in order for me to review, because I didn't want to review just another looper. Well, this one does have some special stuff in it. It is a basic looper, but it's basic in the best possible way. So let's get through this. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3 knobs, a 3-position switch up here. We have an LED, which is also a button, and a foot switch. That's it. We have 2 mono inputs. Excuse me, 1 input, 1 output. You can see that by the arrow indicator here. So this is input on the right side. This is output on the left side. And as you see, we have 1 through 16 for how many slots for recording there are. But are there only 16? No. We've got 48 slots on this. Now you might hear that and think, well, there are other pedals that have more than 48. True, but can they do it with no screen? Ha. That's the special part about this. Well, one of the special parts about it. So how do you choose how do you get to all the 48 slots? That's what this is for. So when we are on, you see the little 1, 2, 3 up there? Okay. When we are on bank 1, that's bank 1, 1 through 16. Then bank 2, 1 through 16. Bank 3, 1 through 16. Get more into detail about that in a moment. Regular loop recording is just like, well, mostly just like any other looper pedal you have ever used. You hit the foot switch to start, you hit the foot switch to stop, and then you hit the foot switch for playback, and then while playing the loop, you can hit it again to overdub. It has undo and redo. Let me just show that. So we'll do a basic loop here. So let's do that. 2, 3, 4. So double tap to stop. Note that it is blinking. And what that means is that there is currently a loop present on slot 1. If I go to the next slot, notice the blinking stops. Go back here. All right. So that tells me anytime you land on a number that has a loop present, that will blink. So we'll do an overdub. We'll do that now. There is our successful overdub. Now I will show the undo, which you do by playing the loop and then a long press of the foot switch. The redo is the exact same thing, so while playing the loop, long press again, and then you get the redo. Cool. To delete the loop, while it is not playing, you just long press, and this will go out. The loop is gone. Okay. Now, let's before we get into the threshold and the auto record, how to switch between the banks. It looks complicated. It's not. This is really easy. So right now I'm on bank 1, slot 1. So I'm just going to do another little loop here. So let's do that. Keep it simple. There is my loop. Now, and as you see, it's got blinking LED, meaning on bank 1, slot 1, there is a loop. If I go to another loop, you already know that when I go to a different slot, this goes out because there on number 2, there is not a loop present. But if I'm on 1, on bank 1, it's there. But if I go to bank 2, it goes out. This does not mean the loop disappeared. It's on 1. So I go to 2, and I'll just do something different here. Okay, so now I have a loop on bank 2, slot 1. If I go to bank 1, slot 1, that's the other one. Okay, but if I go to bank 2, that's the one I just recorded. And this is how we navigate around this thing. You just have to remember what bank you are on and then pick the corresponding number. So if, for example, I go back, if I go to I won't go back, I'll go forward actually to bank 3, and I'll just do, is that number 5? Yes, it is. So I'm on bank 3, slot 5. I will do another loop here. Okay, so now on bank 3, on slot 5, we have a loop, but not on 2, because slot 5 is free. On bank 2, it is also free on bank 1. And if I go down here, okay, I know I have a loop on bank 1, slot 1, and on bank 2, slot 1, but not on bank 3, slot 1. It sounds confusing. It really isn't. It really isn't. If you do get confused by it, just always leave it on bank 1 and you've got a 16 slot looper. If it's too much, it's like, I can't keep track of all that. We'll just use bank 1 then and don't even bother with bank 2 or 3. But you should, because you have 48 slots that at your disposal. Very nice. Now, as far as the technical spec of a slot, how much time can it record? 10 minutes per slot. Per slot. And yes, that means this thing can record up to 480 minutes of audio. Wow. I was like, oh, that's nice. That is nice. And yes, that means 8 hours. Not continuously 8 hours. It's 8 hours broken up into 10-minute segments, but still 8 hours, all in here. Neat. And the last thing we'll talk about here is the threshold. Okay, and we'll just stay on bank 3, slot 1 for this. And this is where we finally get to using this as a button. If I press it and it's blue. Now you see the R and B here? B means blue. So when I press it and it goes blue, that means auto recording is on when I press this foot switch. If I press it again and it turns red, that means it's just a regular looper. This will act just in a regular fashion. But if I do this, okay, auto recording is on, and this is where finally we get to threshold. Okay. Now if I press the foot switch, red blinks means it is waiting to record. That's what that means. Now if I turn up the guitar a little bit, notice how I'm dragging, well you can hear it, that I'm dragging my fingers across the strings, but it's not recording. But if I turn the threshold down, oh, nope, and then it started recording. See that? Now it's doing it. Now, before getting any further, right there is the best part of threshold. Because if you're getting ready to set up the play, you will move around a little bit, especially if you have distortion on your guitar. With other loopers with an auto record feature, the moment you make the tiniest noise, the pedal starts recording. That gets annoying real fast. This defeats that problem by having a threshold feature, like a gate. Almost, yeah, it's basically acts like a noise gate of sorts. And that's great. So let's delete that loop. Okay. And put the threshold, we'll put it like right around there. And make sure that it's blue. And then ready to record. Okay. So if I have a little setup here. Okay, I'm just moving a little bit. But then when I ring out a chord, nice. I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. Every looper needs a threshold feature. That is... So the two, yeah, that is just, I just really like that. It puts a smile on my face. So the two best parts about this pedal is the fact you've got 48 slots divided by 3 banks, divided into 3 banks, excuse me, and the threshold feature. Nice. And there's no screen. The only thing on this that even has the possibility of breaking is just a little light. And you know that these lights, they never go. They last forever. So you don't have to worry about that. Just nice. Most other basic loopers will give you 3 to 6 to 9 slots. This one, 48. I know I keep saying that, but 48 with no screen. No screen. I mean, you can almost operate this thing by feel without even having the look, which is just nice. Oh yes, this is going to get some use in my pedal arsenal for sure. Oh, and the last thing, I might as well note this. Yes, they did put a nice rubber on the bottom. She is pedal board friendly, which I am appreciative of. And this gives me a chance to show this. We've got 1/4 inch on the right and a 1/4 inch on the left. We got power in the back. That's it. That's all she wrote. But she writes a good song, so would I recommend this? Yeah, I would actually. I like the simplicity of the operation. I love the fact it's got 48 slots. I really love the threshold feature. That's just this thing right here. Actually, let me get rid of that blinking. Oh yeah. One last thing before I close out. If you leave this on a slot, okay, I unplugged the pedal, and now I'm going to plug it back in. Now, ordinarily, you get no indication that it's on, but if you plug it in and you have left it on a loop, on a slot with a loop on it, then it will start blinking to let you know, hey, it's on. So you do get a way to actually see when it's on. iTone AT07. Nice. Thanks, iTone. Appreciate it.